Hi, I have in front of me here an Oleomac chainsaw that we have available on the gardenshop.ie. We've selected Oleomac over other makes because it's an extremely reliable brand and it's ideal for both serious DIYers and professionals. Just a quick overview of this particular chainsaw. It would be ideal, we'll say, for groups like people who cut their own timber, farmers, people with a lot of wood on their property, things like this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pass you over to Paul, who's an engineer at Oleomac, and he's going to outlay the main features and how to assemble this particular chainsaw.
Now, with this particular chainsaw, the GS370, it will come with a spark plug, spanner, bar cover and chain, and also the user manual. The GS370, when it comes out of the box, basically, the first thing you'll have to do to assemble it is pull back the chain brake on it as it's engaged in the box. You'll have to loosen the two screws, the two nuts, to take the chain brake cover off to assemble it, put the bar and chain on the chainsaw. Now, one of the important things to know is when you're assembling it, this black plastic piece is a disposable piece. It's just used for transportational purposes. You place your bar. Actually, the first thing is to make sure when you're putting your bar on your chainsaw is to make sure the chain adjuster is fully back. So this will make it easier to put the bar and chain on it. Your bar will slot directly onto the two studs and just in nicely onto the chain adjuster. You'll also receive your chain in the box. The chain, it's an Oregon chain and come packaged. Now, a nice thing to know is when you get your chain out of the packaging, it'll come in a loop. If you grab the two loops as such and just pull gently, the chain will untangle nice and smoothly like that. Now, one of the important things to know when you're putting your chain on the bar is the drive links will have to face the front of the bar. So these links with a little point at the bottom will face the front of the bar and onto the sprocket. So you just place your chain onto the clutch and around the bar, pulling the nose of the bar to one side, just slot the chain over the nose of the bar and replacing it then onto the chain adjuster, as so. Then you replace your chain brake back on over the saw. You just hand tighten the two nuts onto the bar studs, like so. And just then make sure that the chain slides nice and smoothly on the bar. Now, to tension the slack on the chain, we again go back to the chain adjuster, which is just in here between the chain and the spike. So to do so, you get your flathead screwdriver into the chain adjuster, as so. Hold the nose of the bar up and just tighten as so. You'll see the slack of the chain just tightening up gradually. Now, as the slack is up, you go back to your chain studs, or the bar studs, the two nuts here, hold the nose of the bar up, hold the nose of the bar up, just tighten the studs firmly. Just nice and tight, not too tight, but just firmly. Now, from here your chainsaw is ready to go. Just when you're storing the saw, just make sure you put the bar cover on, as it protects any damage to the chain from hitting off anything and also protects yourself. As we're going to use the saw now, we're going to take the bar cover off and just go through the starting procedure. You have two reservoirs in the GS370, first being the oil reservoir, second being the petrol reservoir. Regarding the petrol, we use Oleomac 2-stroke oil. at a ratio of 50:1 mixed with petrol in here. It's a high quality 2-stroke oil that's important to use on all 2-stroke machines. You pour your petrol into the petrol tank as so, and that's your petrol done. We also recommend to use bar and chain oil, which goes into the chain reservoir, or the chain oil reservoir at the front of the saw. This is to lubricate the bar and chain in the cutting process. As we've this already done, you go to the starting feature on the saw, which is the on-off switch here. It's a multi-functional lever that also includes the choke. So when we're starting the saw, you pull the trigger up fully, push your starting mechanism down to choke, and then as we're going to use this now, the saw is ready to start. So I'm just going to turn off the microphone now for the purposes of starting the saw, so we don't deafen it. Now it's important to know that when we start the saw from cold, it'll take 3 or 4 pulls before the engine fires. When the engine fires, you just flick off your choke lever. You flick your choke lever back to the run position, which is in the middle. Now we're going to go outside to demonstrate the saw being used. Also, before we go using any cutting equipment, it's important to note that you use the safety equipment that are also available on the website. Earmuffs, because of the noise levels of the saw, it's highly recommended as so, and the goggles. Now I'm going to go out to show you how to use the saw in a comfortable environment. In the starting process, again we have the saw on the choke position with the trigger pulled. And step on the handle here, the saw has fired, flick back into the run position. The saw is now ready to use.
As you can see from the video that Paul has just demonstrated, this is a relatively easy to assemble chainsaw, and it's extremely effective. So if you want a high quality chainsaw, the Olomac chainsaws are available on thegardenshop.ie.